Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Josh Snipes, and if you're just checking out this video for the first time, make sure to hit that subscriber button and the notification bell because we put out videos like this all the time. I usually do operator guides, map guides, tips and tricks, and Siege Academy videos like this one where it's sort of that Q&A that a lot of people really enjoy. Now, basically, Siege Academy, if you don't know what that is, it is a subreddit where people like yourself are looking for knowledge, want to ask questions, and want to get advice from people who are a little bit more knowledgeable, probably have a lot better game sense, and probably just better at the game, way better than I am. But I am one of the teachers on that subreddit, so you might have seen me on there or see me walking around on there and answering some questions where I can. Now, one of the biggest things is that I love taking questions from this subreddit because I feel like there's so many topics that go untouched. There's just things that people don't necessarily talk about in videos. So that's why I love making these videos. I just basically take a couple questions, answer them in this video format, and it's a lot of fun for me, and it's a lot of knowledge to be had from both sides because honestly, there's a lot of things that I might say on here that might not be 100% correct every single situation, and a lot of people correct me and we have a nice conversation about it. So make sure to let me know down below if you guys have any other opinions on things that I say, but it's a lot of fun and I hope that you guys stick around. Now, the first topic that I want to talk about really isn't a question, it's more of just something that I've noticed, as well as obviously this user has noticed it, as you can see here. Now, the first thing is that it's really easy to get into this mindset, the first mindset that he talks about, where everything but me is at fault. I didn't drone properly, and that person was in a weird corner, therefore they're dumb, they're the gold, that's why you're stuck there, and there's no reason for you to be there. Those are things that people will say, especially more so when you're solo queuing, you play with randos, you'll probably hear that every once in a while. Now, it's not their fault, the person who killed you, it's not their fault that they were sitting there, that they ended up capitalizing on the kill because you misdroned it. That's your fault for doing the improper things, and then you go ahead and blame them. Obviously, that's not going to work, and that really is a mindset that a lot of people have when they don't want to accept the blame, accept that they're at fault, and I honestly feel like this holds a lot of people back from accepting your mistakes, learning from your mistakes, and moving on. A lot of times, it's really the lazy people who play this game who aren't necessarily trying to improve, but just trying to play, that will usually make up these excuses, but again, that's kind of a blanket statement, so it's not for everyone that people to have this mindset, but for those who do, mindset 2 is definitely where you want to be. Now, mindset 2 is the person who accepts what they did, accepts that they're at fault. Maybe they misdroned something, got their teammate killed. I know I've done that a ton of times on accident. Obviously, I don't do it on purpose unless we're just goofing around in casual. But most of the time, it's not on purpose. I'm not doing this to be malicious. And honestly, sometimes things get misdroned. Sometimes callouts are wrong. Sometimes you hear things differently or see things differently playing out than what your teammate's seeing. So you might say something that you probably shouldn't have in the first place. But a lot of that is making mistakes, but you have to learn to accept those mistakes, move on, and grow as a player, because the only way you can learn in this game is by making mistakes repeatedly, so much so that you end up learning from it. One of the biggest things to me, I drone everything. I don't trust, when I'm solo queuing, I don't trust my teammates to drone out rooms, to clear things for me. I trust what I drone. If I misdroned it, it's on me. Things of that nature. I don't blame anyone else. You probably will on my streams. You'll hear something. But, I mean, most of the time, I'm just joking around. But I'll go back to making callouts. You know, you'll hear me go, oh my god, I cannot believe he's down there. But then I'll give the call out right after. So that way, my teammates know where he is. And it's just not me going, screw this, and walking away and getting up from my desk. Now, the next question comes, and it's asking, are there any tips for me to become a better smoke? Not too sure what separates a good smoke from a mediocre smoke. Now, one of the biggest things is obviously your gunplay, just kind of your gunplay in general. So SMG-11, the shotgun, how you play with those, just kind of your positioning and stuff that allows them to be better at range or up close. So that's one of the big things, but that can be trained. I mean, you go to T-Hunt, you can go to aim trainers, you can do different things like that to sort of practice, and you can also just kind of play to get an idea of what kind of ranges these guns really function well at. The biggest thing to me, though, and I feel like this is a lot of anchors really have this too, is it comes down to your positioning. Smoke is one of the most useful defenders, especially when you get to higher and higher levels where people actually plant the diffuser and it's just not team deathmatch and people are trying to kill each other. When you're actually trying to plant the diffuser, smoke is one of the most useful operators in denying that plant. Especially now that we have a 7-second plant in ranked as well. It's always been in comp like that. But having that, you can get a lot of damage, especially holding off a lot of plans in the latter seconds of the round. Now, why do I say positioning? Because honestly, if you end up getting killed too early because maybe you're pushed too far forward, you're not going to have any effect on the end of the round and you're not going to help. But if you're playing in a good enough position where no one can really get you that easily without having to take you in a gunfight up close, then that means you're in a really good position to really execute onto your strat on the defense. So holding down the site, holding down the default plants is a really key part of being a good smoke. Also, one of the things that I really think a lot of people should work on is practice throwing the smoke grenades. Go into customs, go play on different sites, figure out where the default plant spots are, but mostly figure out how can I get my smoke from one side of the room to the other. One of the examples I really like to bring up is bank basement. So down in CCTV and where the servers are, there's one plant spot. Every single time there's one plant spot. Some people plant in a little bit different areas, but most of the time it's right where the wall that gets destroyed is. Now, if you're gonna plant there, you're gonna have to somehow, some way, find a way to toss a smoke into that plant spot and deny the plant. There's a ton of different ways to do it, but if you can throw it from a longer angle, maybe you're laying down, throwing it over a couple walls, and it makes you that much harder to shoot, you're going to be in a better spot than someone who's just trying to peek out the doorway and throw it straight at their head and hope that it hits and maybe able to detonate and not get shot in the process. Also, one of the biggest things that I want to point out is that a good smoke knows when to use his gas canisters. Don't use the gas canisters unless this is part of some higher level strat. Don't use your gas canisters till the last minute, maybe even 45 seconds of the round, because you're trying to buy time for them to force the plant down, so that way you just have to worry about the guy planting, not about everything else that is going on. Don't use your gas grenades first minute of the round. You really don't need to unless there is some greater strat that you're trying to play into where smoke gas canisters really won't help, or you know you're going to die at some point before the end of the round. Now, the next question is going to be how to IGL efficiently. What is a good IGL in your opinion? Now, one of the biggest things I think with an IGL is you kind of need to have an understanding, like high-level understanding of how the game flows. So how each map and how each site kind of usually plays out, because you'll be able to make calls based on that and based on what you're seeing on drones and based on what you're seeing from teammates' calls and how people are sort of shifting and moving. Especially on your team, you're kind of coordinating them to get the attack done correctly in the way that you see fit. A lot of the times, if you listen to your IGL, now for those who don't know, it's an in-game leader. That's usually the person who does a shot calling, person who's pretty much leading. It's in the name. But the person who's going to tell you kind of what to do. It can be seen as backseat gaming, but honestly, when you're on a 5-stack, you need someone that's doing the calling and doing the shot calling, so that way it's a little bit better coordinated. But overall, the biggest thing to me is that a good IGL understands what's happening, understands how to move his players and play to their strengths. You really want to do that. Not everyone's going to be really, really good at entry, so they probably shouldn't be on entry if that's what your team allows. But basically, you want to make sure that you're coordinating your team, and this is stuff that happens outside the game as well. You're going to need to come up with strats and come up with different ideas and things that you'll toss around with your team to see if it actually works, and that's what scrimming's all about. But basically, practicing making shot calls, practicing giving ideas and giving different ways of attacking a site and defending a site and holding it down. These are things that really come in handy, and the biggest thing to me is that they're going to usually be the most vocal. So if you're a really quiet person generally in game, or you just don't say anything, you're really good at listening but you just don't say anything, probably IGL isn't for you. But there's a lot of people who really just talk a lot and want to be involved in every single play and want to make these sort of big calls. So if that's you, you're probably going to be more likely to be an IGL than not be an IGL. Also, usually IGL should play support, although we kind of have seen sort of in Pro League that as more and more people sort of shift towards flex, it doesn't really matter that much what position you play. But I like to play, when I was IGL, I like to play that support role, so that way I didn't have to worry about anything. Like, I didn't have to worry about entry and calling at the same time. It's a lot easier when you just have to focus on droning, helping your entries get in, and then just sort of making calls as the round progresses. Now, the last question that we have today is, should 6th pick be introduced into rank? Now, one of the things that I really like about 6th pick, especially since I do cast a lot of games, is that I can see the sort of the mind games that goes into 6th picking. And also, if you think about it, there's some operators that will indicate what site you're going onto. Say if you bring a castle, you might be going upstairs, or you might be going onto a site that has a lot of windows. That's why you're bringing that castle. So a lot of times, if you kind of bring someone else that looks like you're going to a basement hold, and you're actually planning on going upstairs and switching off to a castle on the 6th pick, that might work out a little bit better. I mean, I don't think 6-pick is the end of the world. I feel like at this point, there's so many people that have played this game for so long now, especially when you get into higher levels of comp, that they kind of know how to adapt either way. So I don't think it's too big of a deal. But the thing is, when you go into ranked, 6-picking is it's not gonna work as well. Sort of solo queue randoms put together, it's not gonna work so well on that as it would with a 5-stack that's coordinated, that knows what they're doing, that has a game plan going into this match, and that has a whole setup in mind, and they know exactly what they want to do. Every once in a while, 6-pick will be used to sort of, maybe you think that something else will work a little bit better and you want to switch to that instead, but I don't really think that 6-picking is necessary in the current way that we play ranked, because right now you don't even see what the other team is bringing. Like, you don't see the operator reveal phase like we have in Pro League and other comp settings. So I don't really think a 6-pick is necessary, but it would be interesting to play around with in the test server, but I don't think that they should bring it into ranked anytime soon. I just don't know if we have that level of sort of being able to play everything out and sort of understanding how 6-pick works in a ranked setting. But in comp, I think it does a really good job and has a really good spot, but I don't think you should bring it into ranked. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, I have a couple other Siege Academy videos. I'm going to link the playlist down below. Don't worry anything about that. It'll be in the card up above somewhere. It'll be somewhere. It'll be linked somewhere. You can go watch the rest of them. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments down below. I would love to answer them. I'm sure the rest of my guys who are always on these videos love to answer them. Also, there's so much knowledge to be had in these videos. That's what I like about them. Anyways, guys, though, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one, and that's going to be it for today. This is going to be Josh Snipes signing off.